Hi everyone, I want to show you how to trade in poe.trade Exile. So especially for new players, this might be a little bit confusing at first or something completely different to what you know. And I can show you how it works, how you sell stuff, how you find the right items, and just give you the basics of it. It's not really rocket science, but it is a bit special in its own way. And here you go. So the first thing you need to know is there is an official trade website which looks like this: poe.exile.com/trade/search/ritual. This is the current leak, so this is why ritual is there. But if you just Google poe.exile trade, you'll find this website here. And here you have the overview of all the searchable stuff, all the affixes. You can pretty much find anything. And you have to see that there's a lot of different items, a lot of different currencies, a lot of orbs, maps, there's fragments, there's lots of stuff in the game, and you can search for everything here with those filters. First of all, you have the search bar, so you can look for maybe certain uniques. So you can just type a name and it will pop up here. For example, Dying Sun is like a unique flask that I'm using, and then you pop search and it will show you the results at some point. There are a lot of other item filters, so the most important ones I want to show you here. First of all, the left side, this is like kind of like the basic stuff, or like the meta attributes, so to say, of the item. For example, here you can search for item category, so you can type body armor, you can type bow, these kind of things. Item rarity, usually you don't really have to check much unless it's looking for something specific or for non-uniques, because sometimes you search for like some gloves with certain stats, and then it shows you, like the same unique over and over, so you might want to fill that out. Weapon filters, so this is sometimes useful for like melee or bow builds. You can search for physical DPS, just type this number here. You can search either physical or elemental DPS, so you can look for these kind of things. Here's armor filters. Typically I leave that out, but on some builds it might be interesting. Socket filters is nice, especially early on in the campaign. Maybe you try to look for like a certain 4-link or a 5-link or a 6-link. For example, after the campaign, you want to go for your first 6-link right away if you have the currency. So like once you're progressing through wide maps, you want to get your first 6-link, and you can just search for something that has 6 links with the right colors, or even without the colors. So you can look for something like this. It doesn't have to be something crazy, but at least you get a few of stats in like your chest armor or so. Here's requirements. This is level, especially can be useful when you're leveling still in the campaign. So you can kind of filter out all the high level stuff. Map filters is usually not really relevant. And here's also some extra stuff, so we don't really need this. But miscellaneous has a lot of things that might be interesting. For example, corrupted, yes or no, or some of the influencers like Elder, Redeemer, Warlord, whatever. And also item level might be interesting in some cases. Gem level might be interesting, and quality might be interesting in some cases, especially when you're looking for like maybe a skill gem or a support gem. You want to go for quality maybe. And here's also trade filters. This is useful here on the bottom with the buyout price. So especially when you're looking for a bit more expensive loot that you want to buy, I usually just throw in, for example, like at least 10 chaos or at least 20 chaos or something like that, with all the other filters that I do, to just filter out all the trash that is not worth anything anyway. So it's extremely unlucky that you will find, some super cheap item that you can just snipe when you're looking for certain upgrades for your gear. And like this, I can, kind of like ignore some of the refined details of the search, but just putting in like, at least 10 chaos, and then I can kind of check what's there. On the right side, you have the stat filters. So here you can type any kind of stats, for example, maximum life. And there is these so-called pseudo stats. So pseudo means that this is not a real stat in the game, but this is like a trade facilitation. So for example, here it counts all the maximum life values together. In this case, 2 strength equal 1 life. So if you choose this stat, it would count the maximum life on the item and half of the strength, so to say. You can also type something like resists. So here you have pseudo total resistances, for example. Like this just counts all the resistances together. So lightning and chaos and fire and cold. In our case, let's search, for example, for a yellow ring. So we can do total resistances here, and let's say we have 80 resists, and then we can make a new stat group. So we can do AND, NOT, IF, COUNT, weighted sum, so you can actually do very refined searches here. Typically, what you want to go for is AND or COUNT. So especially when I make additional groups here, I just add in some other stats that I would like. For example, maximum life. Let's say we have like at least 50 life, and we have to say one of these stats here. You can add some more, or we just make another group, for example, and then we want like 2 out of lightning res and fire res and all these kind of things. So this would look like this here, and now we can just say see what you find basically. And now it shows you the results after the search is done, and then you can see all these different offers here from different people. So you see the stats, the item level, the requirement, here are all the affixes, here's the price, and it also tells you if the guy is online or AFK. Typically it filters out offline people, but you can also search for offline if you like in the trade filters. And if you want to buy this, you can type, you can press on whisper, and that will automatically give you the copy paste that you can just put into the game. So you go into the game and then you enter, you do Control V, and it will actually also translate it. So here there's a Korean guy, so it will be Korean, but if you take another guy, it might be English or it might be Russian or whatever. So you see it gives you like this typical message and says, hi, I would like to buy your ring, blah, 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 for 10 chaos in ritual, and it even tells the seller like where that is located, and then he can just go and invite you. So here I just whispered this guy for like a 1 chaos ring, and now he invites me to the party, and we accept. We go to our stash, we take the currency that we need, in this case 1 chaos, because I was looking for like a 1 chaos ring here, and we teleport to him. We are the buyer, so we go to the guy who's selling. So we click on this button here, TP to his hideout, and we wait until the seller trades you. So this is basically the common courtesy of how this goes. And then you just give him the currency, he gives you the item. Make sure you double check the item, because especially for more expensive loot, there might be people trying to scam you. But typically it's not a big deal here. We pop in the chaos, we check the item, seems fine, accept, and then if you're nice, you can say thank you, and that's about it. You just go back to your hideout and you get the item. Saying anything is not necessarily required. I tend to do it on like the bigger trades when I sell something for, let's say, like 10 chaos plus or so. But if it's just some small stuff or some currency or so, typically people come, take their stuff, and they go again, so no one really cares. Likewise, if you are the seller, then you have to invite the other guy when he whispers you, and he comes to your hideout and you trade him first. So this is, just how it goes. The seller always takes the initiative. So on the website, there is not just this here, but there's also the bulk item exchange. This is essentially for all the kind of like tradable currency. Here's like all the basic currency, for example. So you can say, I have alchemies and I want chaos orbs. And you can also highlight things so that you can find it more easily. Yeah, this helps you out a bit. And here's like all the other stuff like fragments. There's catalysts, oils, like all these different league mechanics that have like these thousands of different drops, and you can filter for all of them. Typically this is very easily convertible currency here. The main currency to trade with is chaos orbs and exalted orbs. Chaos orb for the small stuff, exalted orb for the big stuff, and basically everything else is kind of like calculated in their value. And as you play, you might be gathering lots of small stuff. You have like gem cutters prisms, you have your augmentation orbs, your chance orbs, your Val orbs, there's sextants, there's these oils from blight, there's the scarabs, there's like tons of stuff. And typically when you need currency, you will probably have a lot of stuff kind of like hidden in all these little other currencies. So you can just pop them in a trade tab and sell them, and you can get a lot of chaos like this quite easily, and you might not even be aware of it. Here on the trade website, it makes sense to filter for people that have a certain stock. So you can do this at the bottom here. You can just say minimum stock, let's say 50, And this will basically filter out all the, you know, like 1 or 2 or whatever, like, you know, very small sums, just to make it easier for you to trade a lot of stuff at a time. And then you get these results here, for example. So here you can trade 74 alchemies to 10 chaos, for example, and likewise with other currencies. One thing to note here, that especially for very cheap items and especially for bulk trades, it's worth to just skip like the first 10 results usually, because they will most likely never reply anyway. Typically, you know, if you try to contact them, you just press this button here and you copy paste this, and just with a click. And most of the time the top guys will not reply, like the ones with the cheapest rates. So rather, you know, pay an extra chaos and people will reply down here usually. But it doesn't really matter. Usually when I trade these kind of things, I just, you know, whisper like 5 guys at a time, and one of them will most likely invite me, and if not, I take the next 5. And this can reduce the frustration in trading a lot, because people will actually reply to you. There's also a neat little slider here, so especially when you want to do really big trades, you want to you know, just increase that maybe a bit. And of course, the more you buy, the more likely people will answer to you. If you want to sell your own stuff, which will become necessary at some point when you're playing trade leagues, if you're not playing solo Starfound, which is not really recommended for a new player anyway, you have to get a premium tab. There's also a way to do this without a premium tab, but if you have reached endgame, you need a few tabs anyway. And yeah, just getting at least 1 premium tab to sell stuff is definitely recommended. So this is my sell tab, for example. I just throw in my stuff, and this is usually plenty. So as long as I'm not selling lots of like random yellow items everywhere, which are not really worth much most of the time, 1 stash tab is plenty, and you just have to sort it out every once in a while, and that's fine. And they are really cheap. So what you have to do is, when you have a premium tab, you right click this and you can set it to public. And here you can say either each item individually priced, or you can set a price on all items. Doesn't really matter which one you choose here. Typically people don't really bargain anyway, at least not for cheap stuff or for currencies. You only bargain for really expensive stuff most of the time. So once you have done that, you can pop in an item here, and then you can right click on that item, and here say the price for it. So for example, here we bought this thing for 1 chaos. You can try to sell it again for 1 chaos. Most likely no one will ever touch this, so I'm probably just gonna render it, and this was just for the sake of the video. But you can select all the other currencies here if you like, and if you want to sell something in bulk, for example, here I have my oils. It looks like this. So here I say that I want 5 chaos orbs for 10 oils. You can also set, you know, different rates. You can do like, you know, 0.5 for 1, or you can do 1 for 2, and it will list as this. And this will also show up on the bulk item exchange website. So if I look for my own items now, I can find myself as a seller for these kind of things here. So that system is actually quite easy. And then you just get these whispers here. So people will come to you, and you know, they will ask exactly the same way. Hi, I would like to buy this and that. And you invite them, and you do a trade, you say thank you, that's it. Having a second tab with something like this here, with a same price on all items, is quite useful for example, these jewels or rings, or, you know, some other random stuff that you don't really know or don't really want to price. You just throw it in there, and, you know, everything here is like fake chaos and is listed. And you know, if it doesn't sell for a while, you can start at a 10C tab, for example, and if it doesn't sell after 2 days, you just throw it in a 5C tab, and then you can throw it in a 3C tab. And like this, you can kind of like save a lot of trouble trying to price items. So pricing items can be quite a struggle, and the only real way to do it is to get some experience and to look up the items and understand what people need, what is the meta. So especially for certain yellow items, it can be very hard. For jewels, for rings, you might not really understand the value of certain things. So if you're unsure, rather start high and then just, you know, reduce the prices every day, you know, just cut like 20% every day or something. Eventually it will sell. And even if you get like a few cares out of something, that's already helpful to progress your character. So that's it for now for this video. I hope that this overview helps you to also start trading yourself if you haven't done it yet, and just to maybe understand a little better of the little tricks, maybe how to find the right stuff that you're looking for. So hope you like this video, and see you guys next time.